Stories matter. Stories are important. They tell us where we've come from. They remind us about what is valuable. They help clarify our future.
I think faith was here a long, long time ago, that God established himself here in this nation long before any of us were here. And that faith existed and exists today.
I thought, I don't care what it costs me, I'm going to see what these guys have got that I haven't got.
For the first time in my life, I met a priest who had a social conscience, and suddenly it was as if I saw for the first time, this is what Jesus is like.
He'd written a letter to his dad at 21, said, you know, Dad, if the gospel of Jesus is the real thing, we need to find a way of expressing it to the people of the bush. It's no good building churches out here. They need hospitals.
I went to church with my new friend Lisa and I heard the gospel. I heard about Jesus.
So I prayed right there on the street, and no word of a lie, right on that bench over there. I asked Jesus into my heart, and in the instant I started weeping and crying. And it was like, you know what, I became that little boy again that just wanted that father. It's like my Father in heaven came down and just said, son, it's all gonna be all right.
In Faith Runs Deep, we unearth the stories of faith that have helped shape Australia. Join us as we drive across Australia in an iconic Holden ute to explore the stories at the heart of our culture and see how the followers of Jesus have influenced Australia. We will discover stories of faith from history and today, of people with deep personal faith who have profoundly shaped this nation.
Australia lives off Christian capital to this day.
The very first words of our Constitution, you know, humbly trusting in Almighty God, it is woven into the very fabric of who we are as a country.
Billy said afterwards that he'd never come across spiritual hunger like it in Australia.
You can tell thousands of stories of people who, you know, had their whole life transformed and started new lineages of faith in Australia.
That's the consequence of meeting Jesus, is that you want to do what he did. You want to be his instrument, if you will, for good in the world.
I believe when it comes to faith in this nation, there's an opportunity, a great hope that we're not dealing with a group of people who hate Christianity or hate God. We're actually dealing with people who don't understand Christianity, who don't understand who Jesus is and what he's done.
For me, I think for faith to run deep in Australia, it starts in families.
They changed the lives of dozens and dozens of kids who had no other opportunity, and almost nobody knows. That's a remarkable thing.
One day I heard this thump, and there was a tree just by the back fence there, and it just fell over, and it didn't pull a root out of the ground. It had rotted out right underneath. That's something that I don't think we want to see happen to our culture, because the deep roots of Christianity, they're really critical for the health of the nation.
Join us on this journey as we discover where faith runs deep in Australia.